We have a tendency in the church to synthesize or blend the two biblical Christian stories of the Christmas Nativity from the Gospel of Matthew and the Gospel of Luke. And maybe we blend those stories for good reason. Maybe that gives us a better view and understanding of all of the events that happened in that Christmas moment. But if we take these stories apart from one another, and we notice that in the Gospel of Matthew, there are no shepherds. And in the Gospel of Luke, there are no magi or a guiding star. In fact, the stories from Matthew and Luke hardly have anything in common between them. And since we heard the story retold today from the Gospel of Luke, we're not going to blend the story with Matthew's account for the sake of this sermon. Instead, we'll focus on one of the major plot holes in the story of Luke. The fact that the shepherds were given no directions from the angel and had to find the firstborn Jesus without them. And as you heard in our script, the lack of directions or a guiding star really confused the shepherds in our retelling of the Christmas story. They probably could have benefited from some better directions or at least some beacon to help them find their way to Jesus. But in a word, they were directionless. They knew who they were looking for and what he'd be wearing and what he'd be lying in. But getting there was another story. And I wonder, have you ever felt like that? Like you know exactly what it is you're looking for, but you just can't figure out how to get there. Maybe this unusual time of the pandemic has given you an opportunity to take stock of your own life. And maybe that has revealed what you're being called to do, maybe something different that you've never done before. Yet, because this pandemic is still ongoing, you feel stuck or directionless. Like maybe you know what you're being called to, but how will you ever get there? I know that for me, one thing during this pandemic that has been revealed is not so much personal as it is political. This pandemic has revealed that no matter what country we are a citizen of or what state we live in, we can't just isolate ourselves from one another to stay safe from this virus. Instead, we are woven into a web of interdependence. And cooperation then is the only way that we can effectively overcome this virus. But then I wonder, how can we ever get to that state of oneness or unity and cooperation amidst all the competition and strife that goes on between countries, that goes on between states, that goes on between political parties and individuals even? I know God is calling us towards international and interpersonal cooperation and peace, but it'd be nice if we also had a map with clearly laid out steps as to how to get there. Often, when we feel directionless like this, our hope for a better tomorrow is all too easily lost when we don't know how we will ever get there. But the message of hope in the Christmas story this day is that even if you don't know how to find where you're going, God has found you, and God will continue to find you wherever you are. No matter how isolated it seems right now in life, God has found you, and you are not alone. No matter how deep the darkness is that surrounds you, God has found you and lights your way. No matter how humble your state is right now that you find yourself in, Christ was born into a similar humble state and is once again born anew in your midst today. The shepherds got to where they were called to go, not because they had directions or a map, but because God found them in a field in the darkest night. And they trusted the message of the angel. And they started to walk towards what God had promised they would find. Directionless as we may be, the Christmas story today is about God finding you. Martin Luther said that this is what is meant by thy king cometh. You do not seek him, but he seeks you. You do not find him. He finds you. So I say to you, Merry Christmas, dear found ones. Whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you have done or not done, Christ is born to you this day and is leading you towards your ultimate destination, a place we can't even get to with a map, because this place is not so much a place at all, but a new day where there will be no more virus, where we will all live in unity, and where love and light will overflow in abundance in all of creation. This is what is promised to us this Christmas day. So I say to you once again, Merry Christmas, found one.